Hello students, welcome to today's lesson about the phylum Echinodermata and phylum Hemichordata of the animal kingdom. Let us first discuss phylum Echinodermata. Phylum Echinodermata consists of organisms which are among the most obvious and colorful organisms of many temperate sea shores. This is a very old group. There are about 7,000 existing species of echinoderms. The phylum Echinodermata is an extremely large, well-known phylum containing many familiar organisms, including starfish, sea urchins, and sand dollars. All echinoderms have several things in common, making members of this phylum easily recognizable. All echinoderms live in the ocean, with no known exceptions from present day or the fossil record. Echinoderms can be found in all marine habitats. They can be found living on the ocean floor and also close to the surface of the sea. So, the echinoderms are considered as the best characterized and distinctive phylum of the animal kingdom. Students, animal kingdom ਨੂੰ ਕਈ ਫਾਈਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੰਡਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। Animal kingdom ਨੂੰ organism ਦੇ ਵੱਖ-ਵੱਖ structure ਅਤੇ form ਦੇ ਆਧਾਰ ਤੇ 11 major ਫਾਈਲਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੰਡਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਹੈ। In spite of the differences in structure and form of different animals, there are fundamental features common to various individuals in relation to the arrangement of cells, body symmetry, nature of coelom, patterns of digestive, circulatory, or reproductive systems. These features are used as the basis of animal classification. So, first of all, let us discuss the classification of animal kingdom.
The kingdom Animalia is split into several phyla. Each phylum includes organisms that have characters in common. There are 11 major phyla in the animal kingdom, from Porifera to Chordata. The animal kingdom is divided into several phyla on the basis of different features such as levels of organization, symmetry, and body cavity or coelom, as shown here in the table. The first phylum of the kingdom Animalia is phylum Porifera. Organisms of this phylum have cellular level of organization and include organisms such as sponges. The cells are arranged as loose cell aggregates and there are no tissues and organs. The members of this phylum are generally asymmetrical. If we consider the tissue level of organization and animals exhibiting radial symmetry, kingdom Animalia has two phyla, Coelenterata and Ctenophora. These phyla include animals with radial symmetry, tissue level of organization, and diploblastic organisms. Phylum Platyhelminthes includes worms that are commonly known as flatworms. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and acoelomates with organ level of organization. Phylum Aschelminthes include worms that are commonly called roundworms. They have organ system level of body organization. They are bilaterally symmetrical, triploblastic, and pseudocoelomates. The remaining 6 major phyla, Annelida, Arthropoda, Mollusca, Echinodermata, Hemichordata, and Chordata are all coelomates having bilateral symmetry and organ system level of organization. Today, we will focus on phylum Echinodermata and Hemichordata. If we talk about phylum Echinodermata, it approximately includes 7,000 living species and 13,000 fossil species. It can be exemplified by the familiar sea star, a universal symbol of the marine realm.
In spite of their distinctive appearance and characteristics, the echinoderms continue to be of great interest to specialists studying higher levels of classification of invertebrates. The history of the phylum is filled with misconceptions. Linnaeus in 1758 did not recognize the echinoderms as a separate group and placed the echinoderms that were known to him in phylum Mollusca. Lamarck in 1801 referred to the echinoderms under Radiata, where they stayed for several decades until finally Leuckart in 1854 successfully established the Echinodermata as a separate phylum. Students, these echinoderms are among the most distinctive of all animal phyla. The organisms of this phylum are readily recognized on basis of some peculiar features. Together, these features define much of what makes the functional biology of echinoderms distinctive from that of other metazoans. These features are presence of bony ossicles, water vascular system, and tube feet. आओ ਹੁਣ phylum Echinodermata ਦੇ ਮੇਨ ਫੀਚਰਸ ਅਤੇ ਬਾਕੀ ਸਾਰੇ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰਿਸਟਿਕਸ ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ. We will cover the basic features and a variety of other interesting facts about echinoderms.
Characteristic features of phylum Echinodermata. Marine habitat. Echinoderms are found in all the oceans
except for a few species which inhabit brackish waters.
Most echinoderms are benthic organisms found on ocean floors. However, echinoderms inhabit depths ranging from shallow waters at tidelines to the deep sea. Star-like spiny animals. The word echinoderm means spiny skin. So, the echinoderms have basically a star-shaped body with spiny endoskeleton of plates, as you can see here in Antedon, commonly known as feather star. Body shows bilateral symmetry with pentaradial organization in adults. In the larval stage, most echinoderms are bilaterally symmetrical. Most adults are radially symmetrical. The body grows in a pentaradially symmetric fashion in which the body is arranged in 5 parts around a central axis. All echinoderms exhibit 5-fold radial symmetry in portions of their body at some stage of life. Calcitic skeleton composed of many ossicles. Echinoderms have calcitic skeletons composed of calcium carbonate crystals which form a rigid support. The calcite is deposited as numerous tiny crystals, but all of them lie on the same crystal axis with an ossicle. The ossicles, which make up the skeleton lie under an outer dermal layer. Water vascular system or ambulacral system. Echinoderms have a water vascular system which allows locomotion, respiration and feeding. The tube feet are a part of the system and contain the organism's sensory neurons. Tube feet of the system help in locomotion, capture of food and respiration. Complete digestive system. Digestive system in echinoderms is usually complete. It is axial or coiled. Digestive glands are also present. In all echinoderms, the body lacks a head. Locomotion is by tube feet. Locomotion in echinoderms is by tube feet, which project from the ambulacral areas, or by movement of spines, or by movement of arms, which project from central disc of the body. Autonomy and regeneration of lost parts is conspicuous in echinoderms. Some species of echinoderms, such as sea star, also reproduce asexually by fragmentation, often with part of an arm becoming detached and eventually developing into an independent sea star.
Students, these echinoderms move about using a water vascular system. Water comes into the system via the medullary. The radial canals carry water to the ampulla part of tube feet. The tube feet lash onto the surfaces and move in a wave with one body section attaching to the surfaces as another is released. Most sea stars cannot move quickly. However, some burrowing species are capable of rapid creeping motion. Respiration in echinoderms is by minute dermal branchiae or skin gills or papillae protruding from the coelom by tube feet, and in sea cucumbers, respiration takes place by coral respiratory trees. Excretory organs are absent in echinoderms. If we talk about nervous system, it consists of a nerve ring and radial nerve cords. There is no brain. Sexes are separate. Males and females are alike externally. There is no copulation in echinoderms as fertilization is usually external. So, echinoderms कई interesting characteristics ਦਰਸਾਉਂਦਾ ਹੈ ਅਤੇ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਈ ਇਸ ਫਾਈਲਮ ਵਿੱਚ ਬਹੁਤ ਹੀ ਯੂਨੀਕ ਹਨ। ਚਲੋ ਹੁਣ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਦੇ ਯੂਨੀਕ ਕੈਰੈਕਟਰਸ ਨੂੰ ਜਾਣੀਏ। Noticeable characteristics of the echinoderms are plates of spiny endoskeleton, the water vascular system, characteristic tube feet for locomotion, the dermal branchiae for respiration, pentamerous radial or bilateral symmetry. There are about 7,000 described species distributed worldwide in shallow to deepest seas. Let us look at these beautiful organisms which are divided into 5 classes.
Asterias, the starfish, and media star are the common example of the class Asteroideae. These members have star-shaped, flattened bodies. The structure of starfish, that is Asterias, has been shown. You can see here the water vascular system or the ambulacral system of starfish, having the radial canals, the ring canal and ampullae. You can also see here the digestive system of starfish, having the mouth and anus. The digestive glands are also present. The madreporite can be easily identified as the light-colored circle located slightly off-center on the central disc. Water comes into the system via madreporite. As you know, that water vascular system has many projections called tube feet on the ventral face of the arms of the sea star. These tube feet help in locomotion and feeding. Gonads of starfish are also shown here. Now, let us see some other members of this phylum. Ophiothrix, Ophioderma, and Ophiocoma, some commonly found brittle stars, are members of class Ophiuroideae. These members have flattened body with usually 5 or 6 arms. Sea urchin, red urchin, cake urchin are the common members of class Echinoideae. The body of these organisms is discoid or oval and without arms. Thyone and sea cucumber belong to class Holothuroideae, members of which have an elongated body with a leathery body wall. Rhizocrinus, water lily, and Antedon, the feather star, are common members of class Crinoideae. They have a body with many spiny arms.
Echinoderms are rather known for their unpleasant side. If one finds oneself near the coast on a rocky shore or reef, one must beware of pricks by sea urchins. The fine structure of the spines of certain species of sea urchins means that if a spine pierces the flesh, it may break off while attempting to remove it, thus cause injury. But these are not always harmful. There are also some important uses of these echinoderms. In some countries, echinoderms are used as food material and regarded as a delicacy. Around 50,000 tons of sea urchins are captured each year. The gonads of these are consumed particularly in Japan, Peru, and in France. The taste of which is described as soft and melting, like a mix of seafood and fruit. The quality depends on the color, which can range from light yellow to bright orange. Sea cucumbers are also considered a delicacy in some countries of Southeast Asia. Some sea cucumber toxins control the growth of tumor cells, which has sparked interest among cancer researchers. The calcareous plates of echinoderms are used by farmers as a source of lime, particularly in areas where limestone is unavailable. Indeed, 4,000 tons of these animals are used annually for this purpose. Phylum Echinodermata ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਨ ਤੋਂ ਬਾਅਦ ਹੁਣ ਅਸੀਂ phylum Hemichordata ਬਾਰੇ ਜਾਣਦੇ ਹਾਂ. Hemichordates form a phylum of generally small animals that were once considered to be a part of phylum Chordata. ਜਦਕਿ ਮਾਡਰਨ ਸਾਇੰਸ ਨੇ ਇਹ ਪ੍ਰੂਵ ਕਰ ਦਿੱਤਾ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚੋਂ ਕਿਸੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਵੀ ਪੋਸਟ ਐਨਲ ਟੇਲ ਅਤੇ ਨੋਟੋਕॉर्ड ਨਹੀਂ ਹੁੰਦੇ. So, they have been allocated a phylum of their own. Hemichordata is a small, unusual phylum of worm-like creatures closely related to chordates and echinoderms. They are all marine worm-like animals. There are only about 90 known species, all of which are benthic, means living on the sea floor. They vary widely in size, from the 8 feet length of the echon worms to 1 millimeter of the pterobranchs. All known species feed on small particles of organic matter, either as filter feeders or as substrate eaters. They have a wide distribution. इन्हां दा basic body plan tripartite ਹੁੰਦਾ है, मतलब 3 sections ਵਿੱਚ ਹੁੰਦਾ ਹੈ. First part ਨੂੰ protozoum or proboscis ਕਿਹਾ ਜਾਂਦਾ ਹੈ. Due to the short protozoum or proboscis of these organisms, hemichordates get their common name of echon worms. The protozoum is followed by a collar. Behind this is a trunk which contains the digestive and reproductive organs. Let us discuss the main characteristics of hemichordates.
Characteristics of phylum Hemichordata. Body is soft, unsegmented, worm-like and is bilaterally symmetrical. Body has more than 2 cell layers, tissues and organs. Body cavity is a true coelom with 3 parts: ectoderm, mesoderm and endoderm. Body possesses a gut which is straight or U-shaped with an anus. Body of hemichordates is divided into 3 sections: protozoum or proboscis, collar and trunk. Nervous system is normally diffused but variable. Hemichordates have partially open circulatory system, having a dorsal heart, 2 vessels which are dorsal blood vessel and ventral blood vessel. Hemichordates
possess
glomerulus as an excretory organ. In hemichordates, reproduction is normally sexual. In some forms, asexual reproduction occurs by fragmentation or budding. Hemichordates feed on fine particles in the water. All live in marine environments. Let us check out some of the common organisms of this phylum. One of the most familiar living ones are the Enteronuesta, the echon worms. The triple division of the body is distinguishing character of this class. The other common examples of phylum Hemichordata are Balanoglossus, tongueworm, and Rhabdopleura.
Hemichordates ਦਾ ਇੱਕ ਇੰਟਰਸਟਿੰਗ ਫੀਚਰ ਇਹ ਹੈ ਕਿ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ ਵਿੱਚ stomachord ਹੁੰਦੀ ਹੈ. This stomachord closely resembles the notochord of the chordates. ਹੋਰ features ਜੋ chordates ਨਾਲ resemble ਕਰਦੇ ਹਨ ਉਹ ਹਨ presence of the 2 nerve cords, ਇੱਕ dorsal nerve cord ਅਤੇ ਇੱਕ smaller ventral nerve cord. Phylum Chordata ਦੇ ਨਾਲ ਇਨ੍ਹਾਂ similarities ਦੇ ਕਾਰਨ Hemichordata ਨੂੰ ਪਹਿਲਾਂ ਇਸੇ phylum ਵਿੱਚ ਰੱਖਿਆ ਗਿਆ ਸੀ. ਪਰ DNA studies ਨੇ ਇਹ show ਕੀਤਾ ਕਿ Hemichordates chordates ਦੇ ਬਜਾਏ echinoderms ਦੇ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ close ਹਨ. And so, they were placed in their own phylum. So students, we have learnt enough about phylum Echinodermata and Hemichordata. And with this, we conclude our class today. Let us summarize all that we have learned so far. The phylum Echinodermata, comprising approximately 7,000 living species and 13,000 fossil species, is exemplified by the familiar C star. Echinoderm means spiny skin. So, the echinoderms have basically star-shaped body with spiny endoskeleton of plates. Echinoderms are found in all the oceans except for a few species which inhabit brackish waters. All echinoderms are benthic organisms found in marine environments. Echinoderms have a water vascular system which helps in locomotion, respiration and feeding. The 2 feet are a part of this system. Phylum Hemichordata is a small, unusual phylum of worm-like creatures closely related to the phylum Chordata and Echinodermata. इस phylum ਦੇ ਸਾਰੇ members marine worm-like animals ਹਨ. There are only about 90 known species, all of which are benthic, means living on the sea floor in their adult form. Body of echinoderms is divided into 3 sections: protosome or proboscis, collar and trunk. So students, enough for today. Let us quickly check with some short questions what you have grabbed today. Be attentive. Here are some questions. Question: what organisms are included in the phylum Echinodermata? Answer: Asterias, that is the starfish; media star; Ophiothrix, that is the spiny brittle star; Ophioderma, that is brittle star; sea urchin, red urchin, sea cucumber, etc. are the common members of phylum Echinodermata. My next question is, what are the main characteristic features of phylum Echinodermata? Answer: echinoderms are star-like spiny animals. Their body shows bilateral symmetry with pentaradial organization in adults. Echinoderms have calcitic skeleton composed of calcium carbonate crystals which form a rigid support. The next question is, what are the main characteristics of phylum Hemichordata? Answer: main characteristics of phylum Hemichordata are: body is soft, unsegmented and worm-like. Body cavity is a true coelom. Body divided into 3 sections: protosome or proboscis, collar and trunk. The next question is, explain the economic importance of phylum Echinodermata. Answer: in some countries, echinoderms are regarded as a delicacy in the kitchen and are used as a common food material. Some sea cucumber toxins control the growth of tumor cells, which has sparked interest among cancer researchers. Hope I have made a successful attempt to clear your concepts regarding phyla Echinodermata and Hemichordata of the animal kingdom, which will help you in fetching good marks in the exam. Thanks for your cooperation and attention. See you next time with some another interesting topic. Goodbye.